"18 former NBA players were charged in a $4 million healthcare fraud scheme." Some of the players involved were Tony Roten, Darius Miles, Big Baby Davis, Tony Allen, Sebastian Telfair. The list goes on and on. Of course, this is TG Talks, so I'm going to spend my time talking about how this tragedy directly ties in with the importance of having a transition game. Okay, so really quick, I'm all for dudes getting their money and doing what they have to do to provide for their family. But normally how it works in fraud situations like this, specifically like in healthcare fraud, it's never really a situation where like you beat the system. It never works like that. What ends up happening is that customers, people who actually need these services, future NBA players or anything going forward with claims, they're either gonna be denied, they'll be reviewed a lot more stringently, where the health plan's not paying as many claims for people who actually need it, or premiums go up. In other words, customers have to pay more for services. So as much as I want to root for these guys, and I'm not really upset with people trying to get their money, and in situations like this, it never really works out that way, and everyday people are the ones who have to suffer. So from that perspective, I can't go with this at all. Okay, now for the bigger picture. Why would former NBA players, former millionaires, feel the need to do something as flagrant and petty as this? Why? Why? Very simple answer. They're broke.
Broke? What the hell do you mean I'm broke?
Now the question is, how are former millionaires, guys who've made millions upon millions of dollars in the NBA, constantly going broke? We're going to talk about that now. I have 3 reasons why this continuously happens to basketball players and athletes really across the whole country. Reason number 1, they don't understand how money works. Let's break this down. You get drafted to the NBA. Let's say you're making $5 million a year. So at $5 million a year, you're making all this money and you create a lifestyle where this $5 million a year comfortably funds it. Comfortably funds it. The cars, the women, the homes, the private jets, the partying, the vacations. This $5 million salary is able to comfortably fund that until the money stops cold turkey and you have this exorbitant lifestyle that's still there. Reason number 2, not understanding the importance of living below your means. So I tell people this all the time. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what you do for work. You better learn to live below your means. I don't care how much money you think you make. If you don't live below your means, you're always one emergency away from going broke. And that's the concept that a lot of athletes just don't seem to understand. It's like you're making all this money, but the idea isn't to live at the peak of that salary that you're receiving. That's how you go broke. The idea is to find a comfortable place where your needs are met, you're able to have a little bit of fun and do what you want to do, but you've capped your lifestyle so that you have leftover money to save and invest. So not being able to live below their means, very, very important. Reason number 3, no purpose or skill set outside of basketball. This is so important. I mean, you grow up your whole life, you're playing sports, you're playing basketball. The whole idea is to make it to the NBA. You make it to the NBA, now you're getting all this money to play a game that you love, and it almost never occurs to you that someday I'm gonna have to retire. Someday I'm gonna have to do something else other than basketball. It just simply doesn't dawn on most athletes, and it's really a shame. But you look at a guy like Kobe Bryant, and one of the things that I love about Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, he's known for being one of the most, if not the most dedicated, hardworking basketball player that most guys know about. And what was special about him is that in the midst of his career, probably early 20s, he was already thinking about, what does my life look like after basketball is over? And I tell people this all the time, like, it's called a transition game because there's a transitional process for being successful after it. In other words, if you wait until the end before you start trying to figure out what you're doing after, it's just too late. So, there's a skill deficit for a lot of players. There's an unwillingness to broaden their horizons, figure out other interests, and apply their skills in other areas because the money's there already. But the forward thinkers figure it out quickly, like, okay, at some point, all this money will stop coming in. And if I don't have another skill set, if I'm not business savvy, if I don't know how to do certain things, I'll have nothing to do or fall back on after sports is over. And so I would say those are the three things that a lot of basketball players I find don't have. The money's getting bigger. Guys today are making more than they ever have before. But what's interesting is you'll continue to hear these stories. You'll continue to hear basketball players, athletes going broke for various different reasons. And I guarantee you it'll be one of these reasons or all three of these reasons. So until next time, guys, I'm out.